Hey everyone! Have you ever been curious about what underground prisons look like? Imagine being locked up in a subterranean prison, surrounded by darkness and the eerie silence of the underground. What would it look like inside? Join us as we take you on a journey to explore the world of underground prisons, from ancient Egyptian crypts to modern high-tech facilities. We'll delve into the history, design, and psychological impact of these hidden penal colonies. Whether you're a true crime enthusiast or just someone who's always been fascinated by prisons, this video is sure to give you some insight into the hidden world of underground incarceration. So grab a flashlight and get ready to descend into the depths of these mysterious underground prisons. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. Let's dive in. Number 1. Ancient underground prisons. The idea of putting criminals underground isn't new. In fact, some of the earliest known prisons were carved out of the earth. For example, in ancient Egypt, prisoners were often held in dark, cramped stone chambers located beneath the floors of temples or inside the walls of pharaohs' palaces. These chambers were typically only accessible through narrow shafts, making it difficult for anyone to enter without being seen. They were used primarily as holding cells for those awaiting execution or other punishments, such as banishment or enslavement. The purpose was not to keep them there for long periods, but rather to hold them securely until they could be taken out and dealt with. In ancient Mesopotamia, where the world's first known law code was established, prisoners were also held in underground cells. These cells were usually located beneath the city's courthouses or within the city walls. Similar to the Egyptian practice, these underground prisons were meant to be secure and hidden away from public view. Number 2. Medieval dungeons. As we step back in time to the medieval period, we find ourselves descending into the dimly lit and often dank dungeons of medieval European castles. These underground chambers were not just for storage or protection against invaders, but also served as a place of imprisonment, torture, and secrecy. A typical medieval dungeon was a dark and narrow chamber with thick stone walls and a small opening near the ceiling for ventilation. The lack of natural light and the stale, sometimes stagnant air made these dungeons a challenging environment for human habitation. However, these conditions were even more dire in the castle dungeons, which were frequently subject to flooding and infestations of rats and other vermin. Despite the discomfort and danger, many prisoners were kept in these dungeons for months or even years at a time. The location of the dungeons beneath the fortress walls served a strategic purpose. It allowed for easy access to the living quarters while keeping prisoners out of sight and away from the general population. This separation ensured that the castle's inhabitants could live somewhat comfortably, shielded from the grim reality of those imprisoned within the cold, hard stone below them. The medieval dungeon was a place of confinement, punishment, and often a prelude to a grim fate. Whether by execution or simply succumbing to the harsh conditions, these underground chambers stand as a reminder of a time when justice was served with little regard for mercy or dignity. 3. Modern high-security facilities. Fast forward to the present day, and we find that underground prisons are still in use. However, the reasons and design have evolved significantly. Modern high-security facilities are often constructed with reinforced concrete walls, state-of-the-art surveillance systems, and limited access points to ensure the safety of both inmates and personnel. These facilities may house prisoners who have been convicted of particularly heinous crimes and are considered a threat to society. The remoteness and security of underground prisons make them ideal locations for detaining individuals who might otherwise pose a risk to the general prison population or who might attempt to escape. For instance, solitary confinement units are sometimes situated deep within the earth, far from prying eyes and potential sources of interference. Furthermore, underground prisons offer an added layer of protection during emergencies such as riots or natural disasters. Their inaccessibility reduces the risk of outside interference or contamination, allowing authorities to maintain control and order within the prison. 4. The psychological impact. Being confined underground can have a profound impact on a person's psyche, making it a powerful tool for those seeking to punish or control others. The darkness and isolation associated with underground prisons can lead to feelings of despair, hopelessness, and even madness. For starters, the absence of natural light can disrupt an individual's circadian rhythm, leading to insomnia and other sleep disorders. Additionally, the lack of windows and the sound of dripping water or distant machinery can create an oppressive atmosphere that weighs heavily on the mind. This isolation and seclusion can also result in sensory deprivation, which can cause hallucinations and a heightened sense of paranoia. Without the ability to see beyond the four walls of their cell, inmates may begin to question their sanity and lose touch with reality. The constant feeling of being watched and the knowledge that escape is impossible can lead to a breakdown of the will and a sense of utter defeat. 5. Secret prisons and hidden detention centers. Throughout history, there have been numerous reports of secret prisons and hidden detention centers used by various governments to imprison and often torture their enemies or those who have fallen out of favor with the regime. These underground facilities are shrouded in secrecy, making it difficult to know their exact locations or the conditions under which prisoners are held. For example, during the Cold War era, both the United States and the Soviet Union were believed to have operated networks of underground prisons and interrogation centers where suspected spies and dissidents were taken. These facilities were designed to be hidden and secure, making it challenging for anyone, including family members or legal representatives, to discover the truth about what happened within them. Allegedly, these secret prisons employed brutal interrogation tactics, including sleep deprivation, forced feeding, and psychological manipulation. The use of underground locations added an element of fear and mystery, making it all the more terrifying for those who were imprisoned there. Today, there are concerns about the existence of secret prisons operated by various intelligence agencies around the world. These facilities are said to be used for holding suspected terrorists or individuals involved in other forms of political dissent. However, due to the sensitive nature of this topic and the potential risk of endangering ongoing operations, it's challenging to verify these claims or gain insight into the practices that occur within these hidden walls. Underground prisons come in various forms, from the rudimentary stone chambers of ancient times to the modern high-security facilities of today. These subterranean penal colonies serve a multitude of purposes, including punishment, containment, and secrecy. While some underground prisons are designed for temporary holding, others are intended for long-term confinement. Regardless of their purpose, these prisons have a profound impact on those who are incarcerated within them. Whether it's the cramped, dimly lit cells of a medieval dungeon or the sterile, high-tech environment of a modern underground facility, these hidden penal colonies offer a glimpse into the extremes of punishment and control. And while the use of underground prisons continues to decline in some parts of the world, there are still instances of secret prisons and hidden detention centers being used to imprison and mistreat those who are deemed undesirable by those in power. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of underground prisons. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. We would love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment below with any feedback or suggestions you may have for future videos.